All right, guys, we are going to talk now about programming stuff. All right, it's camp. So we do a lot of programming stuff. We do things like counselor skits during chapel. If that freaks you out, we're not going to force you to do it. Okay, it'll be cool. It'll be okay. We'll do stuff like sing silly songs and do icebreaker activities and do games, right? And every time we do this, we want to be thoughtful about like why. Why are we doing this? Are we just trying to fill an hour in the schedule? Are we trying? No, right? We're trying to do some stuff, and here's what I think we're trying to do. There is a something to be learned about who I am and who you are and who we are when we participate in something like an icebreaker or a team building activity together. Okay, and the point of this is so that we would know each other, we would know ourselves, we would grow in it together. Okay, so the difference between just playing a game and kind of getting this wisdom out of it has to do with the setup around it. Okay, and so I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk you through three parts, right? What we do before, what we do during an activity, and what we do after. And these pieces kind of take these activities from like just fun and cool to like potentially life changing. Okay, and so let's talk about it. What do we do before an activity, a game or an icebreaker or something, anything like that? And so here's a strategy that I use back in the Fort Wilderness days. I don't know if you know that camp. I use a 5-finger strategy. Okay, and so I'll hold my hand up and I'll say, as we get going on this activity today, we're going to remember our 5 fingers. This thumb reminds me that we're going to stay positive. Right? When it feels a little hopeless or it feels like frustrating, we're going to remember to stay positive. This guy, we're going to watch out for pointing fingers. Because what does it feel like to have a finger pointed in your face when you mess up? We are going to, everybody knows this finger, we're going to say no negatives. Okay? It's easy. It's easy to be like, you're the worst, or you messed this up. It's just not helpful. So we're going to say no negatives. And then we talk about, hey, married people. What do they have on this finger usually? This is where the wedding ring goes, right? And we say this is a reminder that we're going to stay committed. Okay, and then this little pinky here is an indicator we're going to watch out for the little guy. Okay, who's struggling? Who's falling behind? How can I help? Who's having an emotionally hard time? Is this really frustrating somebody? Ooh, how can I help? And so as we do this, the first couple times I might do what I just did with you. As we get going, it's as easy as saying, here we go, before we start, give me the 5 fingers. Stay positive, watch your pointing fingers, no negatives, stay committed, and watch out for the little guy. And the more we do that, that's all you gotta do. Okay, and then that's before. During the activity, I think this might be one of the more challenging counselor asks. Okay, as a cabin leader, I'm gonna ask you not to rescue your cabin too quickly. Okay, especially when this comes to icebreakers. The point of an icebreaker is to be challenging, right? It is to get kids in a little bit of discomfort because that's where the growth edge is. And so I'm not saying I want your kids in tears or like losing control and freaking out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying often as we're doing icebreakers, you might feel an urge to solve some problems, to work out some conflicts with people. And I want to just ask you to kind of start paying attention, tuning yourself in to the level of conflict or discomfort that is where growth happens. Okay, and not to rescue kids while they're in that spot. Okay, now there will be times where you will use your wisdom, your discretion to either modify an activity or to take a time out and kind of talk to your cabin. But I would encourage you, like, try to wait a little bit because part of that discomfort is the point of the activity. Okay, and so during the activity, you encourage, you support, we don't rescue too soon. Okay? And then after the activity, this is where the magic happens. Okay, I got like a magician with a rabbit in the hat, and the point is that if you don't reach in the hat, you can't pull out the rabbit, right? So stay with me. In an activity, we play the game, we do the fun thing, but it's not until after, it's not until we actually reach in and try to draw out what was so powerful about it that the learning might happen. Okay, and so this is another place where the what, so what, now what model is really helpful. So after an icebreaker, and I'll give you time as we do these at like campfire, I'll give you time to do this with your cabin. We'll ask our cabin what happened. Describe your experience. Okay, and listening to a few people might be interesting for the group. My experience sounds pretty different than yours. Whatever, right? What happened? Were you successful? Okay, and what does successful mean? Does it relate to the outcome, or does it relate to like these 5 fingers? What does success mean? Did it happen? Okay, that's what. So what? Okay, ask kids like straight up, what is the takeaway from this? What can we learn from this? Okay, did we had some differences in opinions? What can we learn from that? From the fact that several of you disagreed with each other. And then you got a little bit, counselor, and let kids kind of search for a so what. Okay, and then a now what, uh, future. Okay, a now what is a shift to the future. Okay, so man, it sounds like we had some conflict, different ways we wanted to do this. It sounds like we didn't really like that everyone just shouted at each other with their own opinion and didn't listen to anyone else, right? Like that was pretty terrible. So like now what? What should we try next time? And kids often will say something, right? And it's your job as the counselor to help keep this in the team's memory the next time it comes around, right? Hey, remember last time you said we would take turns listening to people? Let's see if we can put that into practice here. And that, right, that's the what, so what, now what process. Okay, and so all of that debriefing, I think if you skip that, you really are missing an opportunity for your cabin's growth. Okay, so always give you time after we do activities to have that moment. Okay, so 5 fingers beforehand, avoid rescuing during, and then debrief after with the what, so what, now what. All right, thanks you guys.